Hi, I'm Jason from Fitted Golf, where we continue to prove that it's your clubs. So today we have a really interesting story, and I wanted to invite Justin in to talk.
I was running 5 kilometers a day, and it went from that to I can't walk. I ended up getting brain infection and full body paralysis for 11 months.
And we really appreciate you coming in and sharing your story. It's an amazing journey. So I want to transition a little bit to coming into working with us here at Fitted. You were playing a little bit of golf, and what you talked about was sort of wanting, to improve, and you started to look in other places for information.
I'm a bit of a obsessive about anything I do. So I downloaded as many podcasts as I could. I was watching videos in my spare time, trying to figure out how to get better and better. And there's so much information that it's like, I'm getting confused and everything. I was really good with my irons, but like my distances were all over, and my driver was just horrible. Like when I first went, I was using this driver and it was going like maybe 200 yards. It was going like 150 feet up or more. It just went zoom straight up and then fall down. It was left and right and all over, and I felt like it was no control. So took some lessons, worked on that, helped a lot. And then like, I gotta get fitted because I want to get better. I want to improve and have everything as good as I can. I don't want to be leaving any numbers on the table. I was just really excited to try to improve as much as I can. So I came here to try to get fitted and figure out what I was missing, because I didn't have a lot of knowledge. I was pretty much self-taught.
Yeah. With YouTube and so much content out there from different providers pushing out information, and it is challenging at times for people to discern what is helpful. One of the things that was remarkable with you was just how fast you improved.
So I come in here, I start hitting some balls going left, balls going right. I'm like, oh my goodness, I am horrible at the game. Maybe I should have spent a couple more months practicing before I came in. As we were fitting and getting things more in tune, I'm like, man, I'm hitting the ball a lot better. And then I'm like, I got this little tape on the end. I'm like hitting the same spot every time. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is feeling really good. And then it gets even better. I'm like, oh, now I'm not getting that back pain, because I was like, I find with the heavier club, it felt like it was hurting my back.
I think this is relevant for many players, whether it's somebody who's injured or if somebody's a little bit older.
Yeah, so when I was actually swinging the club, like pulling, it almost felt like it was pulling me backwards a little bit. And then it felt like a lot of strain on my back throughout the whole, and like I was engaging a lot of muscles throughout. And then when I was trying to swing through, sometimes it wasn't consistent with going through the middle. Sometimes it'd go higher. Sometimes I could actually feel the difference, and felt just so inconsistent and like all over. And once I actually got the like lighter clubs, I just felt really smooth and almost like I wasn't giving all that strain on my back, and I was hitting the middle of the ball actually versus ding, ding, ding all over the place. So it gave me a lot of confidence in my swing. My swing speed drastically went up with the lighter club versus the ones I was using before, and it just was really smooth and just flowy, and it just felt like it was really natural versus before it was like work.
Yeah. So one of the things when Justin came in, and this is a really common experience for us in the fitting center, he had received some advice around structure of the golf club, and the relationship of the length of the golf club and also the weight of the golf club don't necessarily correspond as well as it's being represented. So we'll see situations where people say, oh, well, you swing very fast. You need this big, heavy, very stiff golf club because a softer or lighter golf club can't tolerate your swing. The reality is that's just not true. Every person's body moves in a very unique way. And when we're building a golf club, the key is trying to find a golf club that aligns most closely with the way that the person wants to move. So in Justin's case, he came in with this golf club that was far too long. The shaft was terribly ill-suited for the way that he moves. He has a unique movement pattern as a former athlete based on his build, his flexibility, and his strength. And so what we did is we worked our way towards a shaft and length and weight combination that worked well for him. As we got closer and closer to that, his natural movement patterns started to show up, and the left and right disappeared from the golf swing. Now we have the ball going downrange the way that we expected, but the big key features were way shorter driver and way lighter shaft in his driver. What was fascinating was he was swinging the old driver that he brought in, what we would call this gamer, about 114 miles an hour. When we went shorter, in your case, we actually went 2 inches shorter. His swing speed came up 8 miles an hour to 121. Now that's intuitively weird for most people because, well, how can you swing the golf club faster with a shorter club? And the answer is that, well, yes, the circumference of the circle that shorter club makes is smaller. And so theoretically, all else being equal, the head will be moving slower. For almost everybody, the bigger limitation is that their body can't manage something that's long and heavy, and so they actually slow down. When we get that club perfectly aligned, now all of the triggers in the body work correctly, and the body actually works more efficiently and the speed comes up. The second thing with your situation that was also clearly evident is when we put face marking tape on his original driver, the impact points were all over the golf club.
Yeah.
Toe, heel, high, low, which was giving this crazy dispersion. It also gives, crazy long numbers and crazy short numbers with the driver. So he had no reliability. He could hit it 330 yards. He could hit it 210. By shortening his club down and getting the weight the way that we needed it to and the bend profile of the club the way that he liked, all of that dispersion on the face started to come together and get tighter and tighter and tighter. And we've talked about another video, which we'll link down in the description, talking about face contact and talking about how important contact is. So when we were working with Justin's situation, we're really working on contact, trying to make sure that we had the face squared up and that the ball was hitting the middle of the face pretty much every time. And what happened was his consistency came up and everything got better. Once we had that in place, what we actually extended out to was your 3-wood.
Yeah. I just found out that like grabbing the shaft a little bit lower was going to drastically improve. So while I was waiting to get everything done, I had some rounds booked. So I decided I was just going to go and bring down on the club. And instantly I was hitting really consistent. Like my 3-wood was going around 260. All my clubs, it felt really smooth. Like I was just powering through, just like it was just in that sweet spot every single time.
It's a wonderful story for us to share because I think it really illustrates a lot of the things that we talk about here at Fitted. We talk about how we want the biomechanics of clubs to be fit to the person. So in this example, we have somebody who swings very, very fast, who actually fits into shorter, lighter equipment and benefits a lot from those changes. It doesn't matter how fast you swing, how tall you are, how strong you are. There is no magic formula that I can define in a spreadsheet that says, here is the golf club that's right for you. You need to be hitting the golf clubs. You need to be working with somebody who understands how to change the different components of the club, whether it be length, whether it be bend profile, whether it be the loft angle. In Justin's case, he's swinging 120 miles an hour and he came in with a 10.5 degree driver. Well, that driver was never going to give him his maximum playability because at that swing speed, the ball was just coming out way too high. You need to work with somebody who actually understands all of these things. And if you're going to invest the energy in playing the game, if you're going to invest the money and buy very expensive golf clubs, please come in. Please work with a fitter. Please find out how the clubs can work for you to make the game more fun. That's the ongoing message that we're sharing. And certainly Justin is an example of that. We've talked about drivers and 3-woods. You are on a little bit of an irons journey. What's happening with your irons right now?
It's been really good, actually. I've got the numbers really consistent now that I'm hitting in the center consistently. Saturday, I hit a eagle, chipped in a 70-yard shot, and my iron's been great. Like I hit 4 pins in the same game, and they've been going really, really good. Just having a little bit lighter shafts and stuff really helps with me feeling like I'm not getting off balance and keeping me smooth. So I'm really consistent.
So again, changes to the irons just to allow the posture and to allow the way that Justin moves to be idealized. Turns out those kinds of outcomes. Thank you, first of all, for coming in. What would you say to somebody who was thinking about coming in for a fitting but didn't believe they were good enough to come in?
The worst selection of clubs I originally started with that didn't work for me at all. I felt like I couldn't play golf and I should probably never play golf in my entire life. And then having the experience of fitting the ones that actually work for me, I was like, man, I love golf and I'm feeling really good. It doesn't hurt my body, everything. I'm feeling really smooth and being like, hey, this actually is something that I want to do and enjoy.
Awesome. All right. I'm Jason from Fitted Golf, where we continue to prove it to clubs.